Hello, we're in the backyard of Banquet Records looking at a review of 2020. It's hard to believe it was actually this year, but those Stormzy shows were in January 2020, kicking off the year with a great start. What could go wrong? Alongside those shows were gigs from Big Moon, Easy Life, Bombay Bicycle Club, and we finally got through a full Cortinas show. As we hit February, the releases and the shows were racing through. Louis Tomlinson, Blossoms, Bombay Bicycle Club in a church, Spanish Love Songs came out, and The Who played Kingston in the same venue they played 50 years earlier. March began with a big sale to make space for Record Store Day, which was going to happen in April, right? And then COVID. Yes, it affected everyone, and it certainly affected us. Our last proper gig was with Circa Waves, and I won't ever forget them singing, "It's gonna be okay if you wear a mask." We closed the shop before we were told to, and allowed staff to work from home if they felt more comfortable doing that. The 5 Seconds of Summer UK dates got postponed, and that was to be the first of many gigs that got pulled.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Lockdown came in, and we were online only. But only for a few months, right? Our whole business year is based around Record Store Day, which is in April. Not this year, it got moved back a couple of months to June. It'll all be better by then, right? In the meantime, records were coming out. Jerry Cinnamon, Ent Shikari and Tom Misch and Yusuf Days were in our albums of the year. And with no capability to do real shows, we started doing live streams. All Time Low was the first one that really kicked off, and since then we've done loads, including highlights from Phoebe Bridgers, Jack Garrett, Biffy Clyro. As we hit May, we had some of our biggest albums of the year from Hayley Williams, The 1975 and Dua Lipa. But also as we hit May, we realised that this thing was here to stay. We got a bit of local coverage and a bit of national coverage.
John sells records. Online sales have kept him going.
I don't think we can do social distancing in here effectively.
In May, we realised that we were going to be online only for the foreseeable while social distancing measures were taking place at the shop. So we tried to improve the website and changed information flows, which has hopefully provided a better service to you, the customer. In June, mid-pandemic, the Black Lives Matter movement shook the world and made the music industry and ourselves reassess where we're at and what we're doing wrong. June saw big albums for us from Phoebe Bridgers and Karambin, and that month we also brought in our car park collection service, which allowed you to do click and collect at the back gate.
Get in there!
In July, we were told we were past the peak, and big albums from DMA's, The Streets and Creeper were accompanied by show cancellations from DMA's, The Streets and Creeper. But it wouldn't last that long, right? In the summer, we tried to do virtual in-stores where the artists actually came into shop. The first one of those was with Mystery Jets, and then we went on to do them with Creeper, Declan McKenna, and quite a few more. By August, everyone had given up on the idea of having a proper Record Store Day. Instead, it was divided into drops on August, September and October, and we decided to remain online only. The 6 weeks of orders in 6 hours that Record Store Day brought us when it went on sale meant that we couldn't really open, but we announced that we'd reopen properly in September. August also brought us the return of the Box Awards and brought us 3 floods in Eden Street in the space of a week. Having announced a month before that we were going to reopen to the public in September, with infection rates on the rise, we decided not to. Big albums in September from Deftones, Idols and Run the Jewels. A great virtual event with Lynn from Paris, the signed Taylor Swift competition. We won the Music Week award, and importantly, our greatest TikTok of the year happened in this month. October saw some big albums from Machine Gun Kelly and Dizzy Rascal, and thinking we were maybe out of the worst of it, we started doing some social distance shows from Blocks, The Hunter and Everything. We celebrated 14 years of New Slang by not doing it, and we joined in the Red Light Emergency campaign with Music Venue Trust, highlighting the lack of support for people in the live music industry sector. As well as Music Venue Trust, we've donated a 5-figure sum of money this year to them, as well as Oddballs, Crisis, War Child and the Stephen Lawrence Trust. Quite a lot of big albums as we hit November, including Taylor Swift LPs, Pup, Little Mix, the Black Friday releases, the Creeper reissues and the Menzingers record recorded in lockdown. Also in November we announced those Gary Barlow shows, which hopefully will take place in the summer. December was pretty eventful, and actually it was this month that our biggest selling album ever came out, and that's from Youngblood. We did one of the last ever gigs in London this year with Jamie Cullum playing at the Rose, and after a troubling year for Deltic, the nightclub chain which owns Prism, we found the news that they'd been taken over by another company, but the initial signs of their support for live music are good. With the Brexit situation being very unclear, we paused taking orders to Europe, but hopefully that will come back in January. And we ordered a load of last-minute Christmas gifts just to be told that we weren't allowed to sell them. So if you want that David Bowie Monopoly, well, you know where to go next year. Despite being the weirdest of years, there's been a lot of great music and we've been pretty busy realistically. The shop's been closed, live gigs haven't really been happening as we want, but we did manage 98 events both online and in real life. Jacob left us, but instead we've welcomed Tamsin, Sarah and Julian to the fold. There's been loads of great music and we've needed music more than ever this year. You can check out some of our favourites on our 20 of 20 on banquetrecords.com. Hopefully we will get back to the live shows and we will get back to normal next year. There's loads of events that will happen, and if they don't happen in the spring, they'll happen later in the year. So looking forward to Youngblood, to Bicep, to Disclosure, to Dizzy Rascal, to Idols, to Fontaines DC. There's a lot to be excited about. See you for 2021.